America wants. It's not the kind of friend that the Conservative Party would like to be.
Howell Williams. Well, Edward McMillan-Scott is the former leader of the Conservatives in the European Parliament. He was expelled from the party for standing against the official leader of the new Eurosceptic grouping when David Cameron withdrew the Tories from the European People's Party. Edward McMillan-Scott, what do you think will be the form of words that David Cameron can use tomorrow?
Just to make one point for you, the new Eurosceptic grouping in the European Parliament, the ECR, is actually led by a Pole called Michael Kamiński, who is himself in favour of the Lisbon Treaty. So there are some incoherences there. But the dilemma, I think, for Cameron now, who has played up until today a very steady line on Europe, he wanted the party not to bang on about it. He had a very clear approach on the referendum on the Lisbon Treaty. He accepts that is now over. And the question for him is which bit of the Conservative Party he has to respond to. And I think what he'll do is to think forward to government. I think he will think what, as Prime Minister, he can deliver, and which makes sense for the country as a whole, and not for a faction of the Conservative Party, whether it's the pro-Europeans or the what I call the UKIP tendency, who encouraged him to leave the EPP. That's now seen as a rather forlorn operation.
You talk about factions. The Euro enthusiasts, we know, are in the minority in the party now. Don't those people, mostly Eurosceptics, have a right to demand that Cameron sticks to his word about holding a referendum? As you heard there, Roger Helmer was saying they were given a cast-iron guarantee.
Well, the fact is that Roger Helmer is one of those who is a member of the Better Off Out campaign, and David Cameron won't allow Better Off Out members in his shadow cabinet, so he's made that decision.
But shouldn't people have a say over changes within Europe?
I think what the position will be is that any future constitutional proposals from Brussels, which is unlikely, incidentally, will be put to a referendum in the UK. And I'm very happy with that position. And it's been, I think, the broad position of David Cameron for some time. But what the Better Off Outers want to do is to put some sort of formulation to the public, which in effect is the in or out question.
But they know that they will never get that from David Cameron because he's made it clear he doesn't want to leave the EU. He just wants to run it better towards British standards and to what he would like to see.
Yes, I mean, I'm a conservative internationalist, I'm not a federalist, but I know that the way to win friends and influence people in the European Union is not to walk away from them, which is what has happened rather regrettably in this new group in the European Parliament. It's divorced the Conservative Party from the mainstream EPP parties of Sarkozy and Merkel and so on. It's going to be quite difficult to move back to a position where even if David Cameron has the conviction, for example, on reforming social policy or the farm policy or fisheries policy, all of which need a lot of reform, how to get that is a really difficult struggle in government, as your earlier package showed for John Major, for example. And so, you know, as Prime Minister, David Cameron has to think forward. And when he makes his statement tomorrow, he has to think in those terms, not as leader of a party within the UK, which has had problems on Europe in the past. And if I may say so, the slogan used in the recent European election in 1999 by William Hague, whose own role in all this is a difficult one, was we want to be in Europe, not run by Europe. And that, broadly speaking, I think, is the right approach for the Conservative Party and, incidentally, for the country.
Edward McMillan-Scott, thank you. You mentioned William Hague. We are hearing